wrapped up in my sleeping bag, looking out the window at Aaron's house as the sun is beginning to creep over the horizon. And the trees are silhouetted black against the emerging blue sky with the fading stars up in the sky. And I think to myself how much I hate Aaron because he's got it fucking made with this fantastic house of his, this nice little piece of property tucked away out in the backwoods of South Dakota. God, I fucking hate him. I hope he dies. I hope he dies of syphilis. You piece of shit.
Oh my God, the Vlad Elkins. How are you, sir?
I'm hanging in. We're right at the finish line here. So even if you're a little bit tired and a little bit drained, you're just kind of like, this is pretty much over.
I got 10 hours sleep.
Shut up.
Yeah, dude, it was great. The girlfriend had to wake me up and like it was 9. I was like, oh, hey. So I'm in a great mood. But Chad, you know why I'm even in a better mood than just a regular old 10-hour sleep night?
Because you got to go to Zion a couple days ago.
Yeah, Rhinestone doesn't like heights, so that's a different story. But Chad, on a scale of 1 to a million, billion, trillion, billion, how much do you like accounting?
Oh, that's a bit of a loaded question. Give it.
Is there anything better than accounting? Like, really, is there anything better in the world than accounting?
I would say almost everything in the world is better than accounting, but you can work remotely and you can get paid. And hey, what's better than that?
Well, I think accounting is the greatest thing ever. I mean, I think it's up there with Jennifer Aniston. That's how much I think accounting is great. Here's an article from Yahoo Finance, so take it for what it is. Gen Z, that's the youngins. The youngins, right?
Yeah.
Gen Z is reviving this boring job that millennials and boomers abandoned, and it's helping them land 6-figure careers. Do you like money, Chad?
I'm kind of into it. You know, it's been on my mind the last few months. Yeah.
Straight out of college. They don't have to do 5 to 10 years wandering in the desert doing KPI reports. Let me read this again in case everyone didn't hear it the first time, okay? Gen Z, the young people out of all the adults who should know the least, not because of stupidity, but because of age, is reviving this boring. How dare they, Chad?
Boring?
How dare they? That millennials and boomers abandon, and it's helping them land 6-figure careers straight out of college. Would you like to land 6-figure careers straight out of college?
Hey, I would take that.
Here's one of the sub notes. As millions of boomers accountants gear up for retirement, the industry is facing a talent shortage crisis. So here's another one that is, there is an accounting shortage.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
While it's been lamented as one of America's most boring jobs and heading down a path of extinction, Gen Z is realizing the 6-figure career opportunity. Chad, because I have you here, do you think there's a correlation between the job being boring and 6-figure salary?
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to pay you to have fun, man.
Chad, are there a bunch of video game journalists and Hollywood writers that are unemployed right now because it was fun?
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Who's eating well right now? Accountants or liberal arts majors?
We are. I mean, we'll be eating a lot better in 2 days, but you know, we're doing pretty well. Yeah.
When the young girls, the girls are done dating their drug dealing boyfriends and they need a good quality man to settle down with to pay off their student loans, who are they going to look for? The music therapy major or the accounting major?
I think we need to be honest about that. They don't. It's all about looks in that department. So.
Right. Well, okay. You have, or at least we got the money.
Yeah.
Gen Z is realizing the 6-figure career opportunity and gaining experience by helping individuals file their taxes for free. Chad, do you ever do anything for free?
No, that is not how this works. Nope.
Could these people who volunteered to do tax services have gotten paid a modicum of a wage working at H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt or some other tax prep company?
Not a ton, but they would have at least gotten paid.
Right. Would that have looked better on their resume?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Look, for the Zoomer kids out there, I know your Gen X teachers and millennial teachers and baby boomer teachers said the most important thing is to slave away for other people for free. That is a lie. If you're good at something, never do it for free. The IRS is on Doge's chopping block. The extension of tax cuts is up in the air, and tax day is approaching in just days. Accountants are so fed up with the stress that they're leaving the industry in droves. Some 340,000 accountants have already left their calculators behind and quit in the past 5 years, and some estimates suggest that 75% of those remaining are expected to retire in the next decade. Chad, are those low experience or high experience accountants?
Those are the boomers. Those are the
So, what's a complaint you and I and every young person have had about old people getting in the way of promotions? Have we been angry at people who have stayed too long in their field and profession?
yeah, that's a thing, particularly in public. Yep.
So, if these old people go and retire, what happens to everybody from the bottom?
Ideally, they would rise to the top.
So, promotions are more likely in the field of accounting?
One would think, yeah, in that
Oh,
sequence of
okay,
events,
okay. But
yeah.
it's boring, Chad. It's boring.
You know what? It always is gonna be. I don't know what to tell you guys. I really don't.
Chad, is there a way I can make six figures and do something I'm passionate about?
I mean, unless we try to be the next Aaron Clary,
Just say no. Just say
no,
no. There's no.
there's really not. Mhm.
For a field that is often judged as less exciting than others, according to one study, is the
Yeah,
second
yeah,
most
yeah.
stereotyped job of boring people. The crisis couldn't get much worse. Now Gen Z is coming to the rescue.
Really, I'm a little skeptical.
Well, I mean, we'll look at the data and all that, but and it's a Yahoo Finance article, so it ain't going to be the most empirical. I like the fact that young people are starting to at least realize the lies and the bullshit of follow your heart, money will follow, passionate. I think Gen Z, this is an indication the younger people are being much more practical than their elder peers.
Hope so.
Yeah. Accounting is the science of the business world, says Elena Kelly, a third-year accounting and biohealth science major at Oregon State University, who has helped dozens of families file their taxes this season as part of her school's volunteer income tax assistance program.
VDOT.
One was a goat farmer who had only a landline and no internet. This sounds like Oregon.
Wow, a goat farmer.
Another was a young woman who was financially supporting her sister. Kelly was able to help them attain a life-changing $6,000 back in refunds. One of Kelly's peers, Tristan Classius, a third year studying accounting and finance, helped an older woman gain access to her much-needed Social Security income that she otherwise couldn't figure out. Kelly and Classius just expended a tremendous amount of time without getting compensated had they just worked at H&R Block. Oh, wait. Kelly and Classius are two examples of the Gen Zers who are increasingly viewing accounting not as a monotonous chore, but as a way to transform people's lives. Chad, do you transform people's lives?
I feel like I do. At least for that small window of tax season, I feel like I transform everybody's life.
Do you lower people's taxes?
It is my job to get the optimal outcome. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Their actions are already helping save Americans millions of dollars through free tax help through a partnership with the IRS and close to 24 universities. The IRS's VITA program began over 50 years ago at California State University, Northridge, to aid low-income people and underserved communities in navigating the increasingly complicated tax system. Chad, which political party made the tax system complicated?
I think that's a trick question. Both of them did.
Okay, all right. Who did it more than the others?
You can say it was the Dems, but
Thank
I don't
you.
know.
Really? Was there something?
Both sides. It benefits both sides to be as complex as possible.
Right,
so we got to
because I remember Reagan and Trump like simplifying it. JFK did simplify it back in the day.
Trump tried to simplify it, in 2017, 2018, but it just made it worse. So
last year alone, an army of more than 280 CSUN students helped over 9,000 welfare parasites. Low-income taxpayers claimed nearly $11 million in tax refunds and $3.6 million in tax credits, plus saved them over $2 million in tax preparation fees. In the weeks leading up to tax day, some students work from 10 in the morning until 10 at night. Chad, that's a 12-hour workday. Could they make money instead?
yes.
Yes. Helping families understand how much money they could get refunded or owe. And while the impact may seem minimal, especially considering that $8.2 billion in the earned income tax credit were left on the table by Americans in the 2021 tax year, every return to refund dollar can matter for struggling American families. Some 66% of Americans feel they are now living paycheck to paycheck. Chat, would it help if we didn't have a 38% tax rate in the country?
I think that would offer some assistance to this dynamic.
Who's responsible for that?
Oh, again, I want to say one side.
Wow.
Clary, I've
Wow.
studied
Et
this
tu, Brute?
extensionally. No, 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 no,
Wow.
no. It's mostly the left, but
Okay.
it just Republicans are no saints.
This is just more about, here we go. Even Gen Z, wait, even Gen Zers outside of the business school studying subjects like computer science, public health, and psychology have been eager to join the tax assistance program. While accounting may have had a certain image in the background among young people of being not as intriguing and exciting, once they actually engage in the practice to see how it plays out in the real world, it changes people's minds and views, Effort says. It's not just low income Americans getting their taxes filed for free who are set to gain from the VITA programs. The student volunteers, too, are obtaining unique hands on experience by working with clients with sometimes complicated tax situations and gaining the confidence they need to excel one day when they graduate and land a six-figure paying job. Is it good they're getting this experience?
Yes.
Okay. Will they be more gainfully employed than your liberal arts, social science, we're
Yes.
going to save the world majors? Oh, we sure you're confident about that, but you're not sure. When did the Democrats increase taxes? That's
I don't know, man. The more I get into this, the more I'm like, they're kind of two sides of the same coin in the tax realm. I'm just
you're
saying.
killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Despite the median, okay, despite the median total pay of an accountant being 87,000, even 200,000 for certified public accountants, getting students excited about taxes remains the ultimate challenge. The number of bachelor's degrees awarded in accounting peaked in 2015 to 2016, and the years following each saw a decrease by about 1 to 3%, according to the American Institute of CPAs. The pandemic brought an even greater punch with accounting degrees slipping as much as 7% between 2021 and 2023. So is that good or bad for people who want to go into accounting?
I'm gonna say good.
It's good.
Yeah.
According to Logan Steele, an accounting professor at OSU, many young people have an outdated view of what an accountant actually does. No longer do practitioners spend their time performing manual calculations on paper spreadsheets. Accountants have outsourced much of the mundane tasks to technology like AI, and now they're more focused on strategic decision making. However, the tide is beginning to turn. He says nearly all the accounting graduates at OSU, 98% secured jobs in the fields. Chad, does a literary major get a 98% placement rate?
Absolutely not. I
Does
would
a
think the opposite.
communications major get a 98% placement rate?
I'm not even aware of jobs they can get.
You're right. No, there's baristas. They serve us coffee.
Oh, well, there's those, yeah.
Yes, yes. He says, and their salaries are the highest in recorded history of any major program in the business school.
Whoa.
With Gen Zers increasingly preferring job security over job flexibility, the shift to Chad, is accounting flexible?
There's a lot of flexibility involved with,
How is accounting flexible?
well, you can pick your own hours, you can pick your own location you do it from if you play your cards right.
So, are you saying that accounting is now nearly all online and I can work wherever I want if I'm self-employed?
Well, I'm saying that's how it really should be and kind of is. You still have some old guard, we have to come in and do face to face, but no, I don't deal with people like that anymore.
Can you turn those people away?
Oh, yeah. I've gotten rid of
Oh,
all of them.
so there's a job out there that's mostly online, and with a couple of years experience, you can open up your own shop and get to work?
Why, yes.
Oh my God. And it pays, right? I'm not going to be some panhandler music therapy major asking for a student loan. Chad, do accountants need student loan bailouts?
No. I mean,
Why?
because one, they can actually pay them back, and two, they shouldn't be going to college in the first place if they want to do certain elements of this.
Chad,
Certain.
now, it's not in this article, but that's why I'm glad I have you here. Chad, do employers give a shit if you got your CPA with an undergrad at Bupkis
No,
Rural University, online
no,
school, or Harvard? They don't care.
no.
Oh, can I do accounting with a Harvard degree just as well as I could do a Johnson County Community College degree?
You could. It'd be a waste, though.
Well, the Harvard degree.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I just want to.
Well, in terms of money, yeah.
The shift to accepting accounting as a promising career path may grow, especially with calls to decrease the barriers to becoming a certified public accountant. My gosh, look at that. This sounds like a swell industry to get in because it pays a lot. I don't have to go to school expensively to do so. And it seems like there's a shortage.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Would you, as an accountant, recommend the accounting field and profession?
I would. Yeah.
Okay. Any other advice or thoughts on the article we just read?
Well, I do want to say, Vita, which is what you just read
Mm.
an article on, it's not bad just to get your feet wet and do a little bit of like even I did that for a little while. This was over a decade ago, and I've had people on here like King Crab who have done it. You do that just for a short while. You don't do that to get all your experience. You do that just for a little bit, and then you move in someplace else, whether it's H&R Block or another local firm, something where you get paid experience. So I don't want to demonize Vita totally, but don't
No,
make.
I could see if they get okay. Would H&R Block be much more likely to hire you
Oh
if you
yeah,
had a couple of years? Okay,
yeah.
would you ever do a 12-hour shift at Vita
Oh
in one day?
God, no.
No.
That's just stupid. That's
I cannot emphasize this enough to the Zoomers. Look, guys, this whole push that your teachers and professors who never worked a day in their lives are going to force you, like, you need to donate time. You need to give back to the community. No, what did the community
mm-mm.
ever give you? You do not. I mean, go ahead, get a little bit of experience, but you get paid to do accounting. And there's a lot of entry level places, namely those strip mall account like Jackson Hewitt, America, Liberty Tax, H&R Block. Which one of those is the best?
I mean, I would say H&R, but they're all kind of the same if you think about it.
And the reason it's the best is because I own stock in it. So
Oh,
that's why H&R Block is the best. But yeah, get it's almost one of those fields where you could get paid immediately, especially if you pass their little test. Will H&R Block and Jackson Hewitt and all them train you?
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have to pay for training?
No, I mean, you have to pay the small initial fee just to apply for those jobs, but no, you don't have to pay for training.
Right.
You got time for a quick MBA story, very quick in
I
this room.
always have time for you, Chad.
So this was towards the end of my program. I was taking some grad level, a little bit of extra grad level accounting courses because I knew I was going to sit for the exam and whatever. So I was mixed in with some MSA students, some Masters of Accounting students, a
Mm,
bit of a younger crew. And then towards the end of the entire program, we were about to graduate. It was tax season, right?
mm.
So this idiotic professor's like, and you guys are required to go volunteer at the local Vita just to get through my course. And then a bunch of us, remember, they're younger. I was probably the oldest one in there.
Right.
I banded with a bunch of these guys. I'm like, they can't force you to do that. Just say no. Because nobody wanted to do this. They're like,
Right.
that. We don't want to work for free. So I basically, me and some others went to the professor and we're just like, we're not going to do this. He's like, well, then I won't let you pass the course. So you know what I did?
You went
I
to the
went
dean?
I went to the dean because
Good
remember,
for you.
I'm the only MBA student here. The rest of these are undergrads, it's basically
Mm.
their fifth year undergrad. And I said to the dean who's overseeing the whole thing and really didn't care about accounting, I'm like, look at what this guy is trying to do. Like
Mm.
he's trying to say where he's basically turning us into a word I'm not sure I'm allowed to say on here.
A slave.
Slave, yeah, we can say that. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sure we can. Basically turning us into slaves, and he's holding our diplomas hostage for this,
Hmm.
because this was in April. And it turns out the dean did not know that this professor was doing that. And he came down fucking hard on him. He's like, you
Good.
cannot force MBA students to do this. And he's like, well, I'm forcing, I'm asking my master's in accounting. No, you have an MBA student in there and he doesn't have to do it. And if he doesn't have to do it, nobody else has to do it either.
Wow.
Yeah,
Man, this is back when deans might have had some balls, huh?
yeah, because this was all under the radar. You cannot force people to be slaves, especially right before graduation.
There was a group of people in Russia who would do that very commonly, in China, where after you were done doing your regular job, you were forced out into the fields, and it was under a guise of nationalist pride, and they were called communists, and they forced engineers and everyone else to go and tend to the fields. Why? Because their people were starving. Gee, I wonder if there's ever been people forced into the fields to pick crops. I wonder what oh, it's called slavery. That's right.
Slavery.
Yeah.
In his argument, Clary, he kept going, well, this is just part of volunteering. And I was the one, me, mild-mannered, who was like, it's not volunteering if you're forcing somebody to do it. And he and I went back, and it was me. He and I went
Chad,
back and forth.
let's help me out here. Come on, now don't fail me on this one. Was that guy a Republican or a
No,
Democrat forcing you to go and do the thing?
he was clearly a lefty. And what's frustrating is I went to, where I went to grad school. That was supposed to be a fairly conservative place. But it wasn't like there was just way too much.
At colleges, no, colleges where people who can't do go to teach and usually have lefter leaning parasitic type of people. I know I'm being harsh and slang, but that's just the nature of it. So, Chad, how does one avoid going to an overpriced MBA school where you have to volunteer and park and drive and pay for parking? And you had to pay a fair amount in rent to live near that campus, correct?
It wasn't as expensive as it is here, but yes, living expenses, yeah.
Okay. How is there a switch? Can you find a place of schooling that you don't have to physically attend to get a master's degree in accounting?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's online programs,
Online
and
programs.
yeah, but I mean, and you're probably going to go there, but maybe you don't even need a master's in accounting. But
Maybe
go ahead.
we got a lot of questions about accounting and accounting careers here, Chad, and you're in the middle of tax season. You don't have time for this. What if there was a place that we had all these questions and all the answers conveniently condensed into one location, organized in a way that the average person who has an interest in accounting careers and has a lot of accounting career questions that they could go? What would you title that resource if you could put it online somewhere?
So you're going to get an underwhelming response because I'm
That's fine.
tired. But it's called The World's Greatest Accounting Career. And you can find it. You probably linked it below.
I have it linked below, yeah.
And it's a teachable course. It's a good course. Yeah, I've gotten good feedback from it, from people that have told me about it. They've emailed me, and a lot of them are in process here in 2025 of going down that path.
Yeah. And the reason I read the article is obviously not just to go ahead and promote the course, but I like how the fact that younger people are avoiding a world of fucking pain that the millennials and Xers had to go through with worthless college degrees, unnecessary MBA programs, begging and pleading the boss to let them work, getting laid off.
Yeah.
Guys, I mean, there are other careers and professions out there. We always advocate STEM, computers, the trades. But if you want a career and a profession that, yes, it's boring, but it has the least amount of bullshit in it, everything has bullshit, this is the one. And one of the main reasons we recommend it, or at least you take a look into it if you're interested, is it's one of the easiest fields to get remotely employed and self-employed. And, you know, we're talking what? That if you start when you're in high school, you could be remotely employed by about 24.
Oh, yeah.
25. Yeah. Yeah. If you played your cards right. So, I mean, stop being poor. Stop believing this lies and bullshit. You just follow your heart and you do what you're passionate about. Chad, is it all fun and games?
No, it's actually kind of sucks a lot of the time, but I don't care.
Because it's going to suck for the next 36 hours for you, right? Because we're in the middle of tax season.
It won't be that bad, and I'm going to talk to you about this tomorrow when I do my marathon stream. This was pretty good. Like, you're going to be tired no matter what. You could have the most perfect tax season ever, and once you get to, like, you know, early April, you're just kind of like burned out. That's just part of it, and I'm fine.
Here's a real simple question, and this is what I want young people and middle-aged people. Chad, have you worried about money ever in your accounting career? No. Like, that's amazing. That's a high standard of living. Okay, I don't care that you're helping with the poors and helping with the children's and all that. All you people worry about paycheck to paycheck. And here's a guy, yeah, it's boring, but he sleeps well at night and he's never had to worry about money. I mean, that's, and then how many girls you got? 5, 6?
0. No, I have one, and I don't think she was ever interested in me because of what I do. I'll just be honest about that.
Right.
In fact, she's even said, like, she hates busy seasons more than I do because of, like, what I sort of turn into when it is busy work season.
Well, that's too bad for her, because otherwise, man, they don't get it, do they? They really don't. These girls do not understand. He never works. He's a deadbeat. Then they find a guy who works. You work too much, ladies. You don't get a choice, ladies. You could choose the guy who works too much, or you could choose the deadbeat. But the guy who works too much, that's the best choice, because at least he's not sponging off of you.
And I'll defend the candidate. Like, it's just, I do overdo it because you kind of have to. And, you know, the stress can spill off a little bit, but that's over for now. So.
Yeah. Chad, does it add or lessen the stress when they nag you about it?
So nagging does add, but again, she gets it by now. She does a lot of stuff that makes my busy season a little bit easier now.
I know.
Yeah.
I just
nagging doesn't help.
The eternal, it doesn't matter if you're a carpenter or an accountant. It never helps. It never helps.
Yeah.
Do you have time for super chats? You got to get going.
Oh, I'm good. Yeah.
Let's see if we got any super chats. Oh, we only have one, so that's good. Robert has $10. I have a CPA customer. He retires in 3 years and will close his storefront. 2 staff, 64 years old. He already reduced his workload and no longer does muni audits. What's a muni audit? Auditing cities?
Municipal audit. Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, says they're too annoying. Tax audit BK.
BK
Bookkeeping?
Yeah, bookkeeping.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, the older 64, yeah, a lot of the older Gen X and boomers, they're done with this. Most of them, I'm going to tell you something, Clary, that might shock you. And obviously, it's never 100% with all this. But would you say accountants are good at managing their money and knowing when it's safe to retire and being comfortable in retirement? Don't you think we probably have a little
I
more?
would hope so. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, didn't know if it was a quick trick question.
By nature of what we do, believe me, we'll have it all figured out.
I would summarize the accounting. The reason we're so for it is because it's freedom. Like at the end of the day, it's one of the not the only, but one of the quickest paths to you not having an answer to a boss, retiring early, getting your financial shit together. I mean, that's really what freedom is having enough money that you can live the rest of your days.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's very few, because I've seen doctors, surgeons and all, they're bad with money. I mean, they make a shit ton of it, but they're bad with it.
Yeah.
They're very bad with it. Well, yeah, that's right. You've seen tax return. You know
my
how
goodness,
they are.
yeah.
So if on a more serious, haha, less funny, tongue in cheek, if you are a young person or maybe you're a middle-aged person and you are like, boy, what do I do? Chad and I strongly recommend taking a look at accounting. I want you Zoomers to be richer than millennials, which isn't all that. I mean, let's be honest, not going to be that high of a hurdle.
No.
I want you to, it's like saying, I want you to be happier than feminist boomers. It's not going to be that hard. But yeah, consider taking that course if you're interested in accounting. It's the world's greatest accounting career. Link below, and it's over on Teachable. And then tomorrow you're going to have your show.
Yeah, and I'll talk to you about this after. It's either going to be 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. start, my time, Central Time. I was going to see what was better for you and some others.
Well, I mean, you guys are going to go a while, aren't you?
Yeah, probably 4 or 5 hours.
I mean, yeah, if you got Rurb and Vince and the gang in there, yeah, I'll swing on by sometime. But yeah, send me the link. I'll stop in. All right.
Okay. I just got to add one more thing before we go. I'm a little bit concerned, and John Watts is pointing it out in the chat. You still have to do some work to get to the point where you're remotely employed and making good money.
Yeah.
Some people think it's just going to be like a cheat code and you start from day one. I want to emphasize you still have to build up to that a little bit.
You still have to work. This is the most efficient way to do it, I would say, as opposed to some dopey ass journalism major or liberal arts major where then you got to get a master's degree and then you have a shit ton of debt and then you're working until you're 32 and then maybe around 35 you get a living wage. No, this is, yeah, you're going to start off obviously on the lower pay end, but you're looking at, I think it's like 60 grand depending on the city you work.
That's
is
good.
Entry level. Yeah, it's about, I mean, and you could pay food, clothing, and shelter with that. But yeah, you are going to have to work, I'd say at least 3 years in the field to get comfortable and then strike out on your own.
2 to 3. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. When should we hang out?
Soon.
Soon.